There are people like Saint Francis, Mother Teresa, people, the saints. And then on the side of hate, there are people like Hitler, people who have hurt people, those who were trying to kill us. Me, who was thinking I would be a soldier to revenge. And I felt like our Lord was saying, where do you want to stand? Where do you belong? Do you want to stand with Mother Teresa or with Hitler? And of course, no, this is the people I admire. I love these people on the side of love. And I realized that. And the people we know in our history who have stood up for love, and from Mandela, Gandhi, I realized that these people who have stood up for love are people who have suffered, who have known injustice, but no matter what they go through, because they know what it feels like to be treated that way, they will defend love. They will defend justice. They will defend truth. And I wanted to be with them. And I moved. And I felt like a huge luggage was lifted from my shoulders. And when it was lifted, I felt even confused. How did I want to be like the one who is trying to hurt me? How did I manage to be hateful before and want to be like the one who was doing the wrong I don't like? And yet I wanted to be more hateful than them. How does it make sense? But all of a sudden, it makes sense now to be on the side of love and defend what I believe in. I felt so much peace. And I remember asking God, this is the fruit of the rosary. This is the fruit of thinking about you and you changing my heart. I felt like my body is lifting from the ground. I felt so much peace. And like that darkness, that spirit of depression that was pushing me down, it was gone. All the time I kept thinking about those who killed me, what I will do. It was gone. Now I'm free. Even when I was not praying, I'm thinking about good. And then I start to think, what am I going to do when I come out? Because now I have freedom to live, not revenge. And I felt like something in me was, well, you might find people you work with. Who do you want to work with? Something said, well, the only possibility I was really seeing was my people are killed. The other people who were killing us, I might not work with them. Something said, what if you work with foreigners? And then I thought, what if I work with people who speak English and I don't know English? Okay, I'm sitting in the bathroom. I started to learn English. I was so sure in my heart that I'm going to work with people who speak English, and I better start now. And then I remember I started to fight myself, but I'm in a bathroom. I can't learn English. I can't even talk. And that voice in me was, but you're talking to me now. So you can talk. You don't need to open your mouth. I asked the man who was hiding us to give me a book in English and a dictionary, English, French, and I started to learn English word per word, literally with and I would go to the dictionary. What does it mean? And this is so funny. Again, the way God works within us when we accept Him, we really put Him on the throne in our heart. I memorized so many few phrases, like, what's your name? Where you come from? I was imagining if somebody wants to save me and they speak English, what would I do? Every question, where did you study? Where is your parents? 3 months later, no kidding, I found myself in the Office of United Nations being interviewed in English. And every single question they asked me, I have rehearsed it in the bathroom. I mean it. I remember thinking, oh my God, I have gone through this interview before. And God prepared me. I mean it with all my heart. Every word I'm saying is the truth. And I'm thinking, how can you do this? I love God. And when I'm saying be close to God, He's really everything. He's in your job, in your family, in your schools, among your friends, helping you to have peace with your friends. He's everywhere. So it was so good to see what He did. But anyway, I was learning English, and I remember before we came out, I had a dream about my Lord. I was praying, and I felt He was so much in my heart. And the dream about Jesus. He was skinny, like I was. He was almost like He was on the cross, but there was no cross. It was Him. And He was sad. In the dream, He told me, my child, when you come out, you will find out that everyone in your family have been killed. But if you continue to love me, he said two things. If you continue to love me and to trust me, I will be there for you, and I will do more for you than what your parents could have been able to do for you. So do not worry if there's no one there for you in your family. And I remember in a dream I said, if you can be there for me, who else do I need? And when I wake up, I said, what? I said, that, yes? I should have asked him not to let them go. No, I convinced myself it's just a dream. Who said I have dreams that come true? It's just a dream. And I was scared a little bit. But by that time, I was still hoping that actually some members of my family are still alive and still hiding like I was. But we ended up staying in that bathroom 3 months. And the very first night we came out, the war was over. The bad guys who were killing, they have run away from the country, and that's how we're able to come out. People who were fighting to capture the country from outside, people from my tribe who were refugees, and from the other tribe, it took them 3 months to really capture the capital, and that's how we came out. The very first night I came out, I literally, like within the first 30 minutes, I found somebody in refugee camp to ask if they knew anything about my family. And as the dream said, I found out everybody was killed. Everybody. My mom was killed. My dad. My 2 brothers, my grandma, my grandpa, my neighbors, my schoolmates, my best friends. Everybody was killed. 1 million people was killed in a period of 3 months. Everything we owned, our home, our pictures, our clothes, everything was burned out. The only thing I had was the clothes I had on my back. And I remember forget about God. I prayed, fine, I'm out here, forget about the prayers. Now I have to deal with reality. And I screamed and cried. I'm like, what do you do when you go through this? Who went through it? How do I live? How do I move? I cried like 2-3 minutes. And somehow I felt like there was almost like a giant hand of God in my chest and in my stomach. And something was reminding me, don't crash. Don't die. I am with you. Remember me in the bathroom? The journey of your loved ones is over here on earth, but not in heaven. And your journey is not over yet. And it's up to you how you choose to use what you have now. And you don't know how long it will be. You might live one more day, 1 hour, 1 year, 10 years, 30, 50, 60. But whatever that is, I feel like God was saying, only me knows. But it's up to you how you choose to use your life. You can choose to love or to hate, to use it to uplift or to put down, to inspire or to discourage and take people's faith away, to forgive or not forgive and be hateful. But if you choose love, if you choose compassion, if you choose me, ask me for anything you need. I will give it to you. And just take every day, 1 day at a time. Pray, ask me to help. I am with you until your end will come. And literally, I stood up from my tears, cleaned my tears, and I started to look around in the refugee camp just to see if anyone needed me. And it's true. I didn't know if I even have 1 more hour to live. But it's up to me, how do I choose to use that 1 hour? To be angry, complain about the past, or do something kind? What God will ask us when we die. I remember going through the refugee camp. There were people who were so much more suffering. And I just wanted to love. It wasn't easy to show love in that place. We didn't have much food. The soldiers gave us cheese and crackers and powder milk we mixed with bad water to drink. And to love somebody, we were sleeping on the ground, not on a carpet, not on a cement, in the stones. And I felt like God was saying, go and find somebody who is sad, who is crying. Just listen to them. Pay attention to them. If you do, you would have done something good today. So if I call you tonight, you would have done something good to show me. I remember going through to a woman who have lost all her children. She doesn't remember what day it is. She doesn't remember what happened. And I felt like God was saying, let her just talk to you. Listen to her. Even if it doesn't make any sense, just give her a loving listening. And I will listen to her, and I felt I have done something good. There was like people who had open wounds, machetes. I have no medicine to give them or to even help them. And I felt God was saying, just go and sit beside, touch the wound, ask them how they feel. If you do that, you would have done your best just today. If you do that every day with what you have, love and care, you have done the best. Every evening, I will take my rosary, look to the sky, and pray my rosary, and ask God, if you take me today, I have done my part. I have tried to love. And to me, that is the whole goal of this life, the task of each one of us. How are you using your life? That's what he asked me. When I wake up every morning, wow, a new day to love God, a new day to do something good so that I can work for my heaven, for my eternity. Because nobody among us have even a guarantee to live one more day. We take it for granted, but we don't know. And we need to stand ready. And to me, that is a calling. Every day since 1994, that's what I try to do with my God. And I will ask what I need. And that was the most beautiful part of my life to me, with most experience, like beautiful experience with God, was to see when you have nothing and you are asking him how he come through. I remember, I still do that today. I will write letters to God and I will tell him, well, you are my only father now. So I'm going to ask you what I need. And I felt like God was saying, good. And when you're asking God, which is so beautiful, you don't have to limit yourself because he's almighty. So I will ask him things I would never ask my parents, like, I need a friend. I need somebody to talk to. Just a girlfriend to share my pain, to share my day. I'm like, wow, I can ask this God. And I will ask him, I need a job. And I need a place to go to. And I will tell him, I need clothes to change. And I felt like God was saying, and I really want to encourage you with that, ask just for what you need today. Because God who is here today, he will be here tomorrow. So you don't need to ask for too much. When tomorrow comes, you ask for what you need tomorrow too. So it was just like, wow, so peaceful. And I remember one of the things God gave me. I wanted, of course, a long list, close to change. A friend of mine, after the genocide, in Belgium, sent me an envelope with clothes. I remember there was a jeans and a t-shirt and a dress. And she put a note. And she said, I have heard many people who died in our class, but nobody yet confirmed to me that you are dead. In case you are still alive, you must need some clothes to change. She put that envelope, took it to the airport, gave it to the soldiers who were coming to help in Rwanda. And this envelope, without an address, just my name, found me in my refugee camp. And I'm thinking, God, you're so good. And I'm looking at the list. I wrote to him, I need clothes to change. And he can use somebody who is far away and the envelope still come to me. Are you kidding me? Do you know the God we have? You know how almighty he is? And all we need to do is to respect him, to listen to him. And that is not for him, it's for ourselves. When Our Lady is saying, pray the rosary, just do it. It's for your own good. She said daily, yep, do it. God said, respect my commandments, highlight them and put them in your living room where you can see them clear. And thank God for our priest, because we can ask for confession if you realize that you haven't respected all of them. We have this human instinct in us and the enemy that mislead us, but at least when you fall, you can go to confession. So that is really what I try to live like, and which I don't succeed so well. I'm a Catholic, so I go to confession every 2 weeks. And anytime I go to confession, I'm thinking, God, I should do better now. But no matter how much I try to do good, I always find something I could have done better. I always find something should not have done. And I go to confession. And sometimes I go to confession every few days. And then I have to find another priest. Because I'm like, my priest, what is he going to think? Like, I just can't be good and, try to. But it's good. It humbles us when you continuously look in your heart what you could have done. And there's so much peace in confession. I really encourage you to do that. And to do that a lot. It's so good. Thank God for church. And by the way, Our Lady loves the priest so much. She loves all the religious. She loves all of us, but especially the religious people and the priest. In the Kibeho, she used to appear, and she would tell the visionary, I love you. She would repeat, I love you, my children. And then she would look where the priests are standing, and she would say, the visionary said, with tears in her eyes of joy, and she would say, and you're my sons. I love you with all my heart. And thank you for helping my son to bring him to the world. So we are very blessed to have them. So I lived in Rwanda until 1998. I moved to United States where I published my first book. And until now, I have continued to seek the hand of God in my life, which of course is in your life, in each one of us, but I continue to remind myself the principles, respecting the commandments as much as I can, and if I fall, go to confession. And I really just encourage you for that. I wrote in Led by Faith, Our Lady of Kibeho, the story of Kibeho, left to tell. I have written about so many things God have done to me, and to this day, I count on Him. But I think it's such a smart thing to count on God. A human being, we change our mind. Our friends might reject you, but God will never reject you. Our friends are limited, but God is almighty. Choosing Him is not so hard because it's just the smart thing to do and to try at least when we fall. And I have gone to the prison before I came to the US. I met somebody who killed my family. It was not hard, really. I went there because I wanted to find out how I feel about him, because I knew the experience I have felt of forgiveness. And I remember when I met this man in a prison, he came from the corridor, dressed nice, used to dress nice before, like many men I see here. But when I saw him, I remember his foot was swelling, he was dirty, he had not shaved. And I really felt exactly what our Lord told me when I was in the bathroom. When I saw him, it was almost like something in me was saying, you see what I told you? He could not have known what he was doing. They don't know what they do. This is a man who chose to kill, and now he was such in a misery. And his family was missing him, but he was in prison for life because he have killed. Because everything changed after the genocide. They don't know what they do. And I cried, and I just cried remembering how beautiful family he had. And I reached out to him and I told him I forgave him. And I remember when I told him, he covered his face. He couldn't look at me. It wasn't hard for me to do that because the process of accepting forgiveness, which we all have to do, will happen when I was in the bathroom. And this doesn't mean that I don't go through moments today that when I need to forgive. Anytime I get hurt, somebody said every pain pulls a new muscle. When I get hurt, I get betrayed, I feel that temptation. I wish you can feel what I feel. I never went back to what happened to me before, but the new thing comes and shakes me a little. And I can feel when I feel that anger. If you only feel what I feel, what you cause me, you will never do this. But anytime I feel that way, I say, no. I remember what I went through. God, take over. Help me forgive. Even this new thing, help me forgive. And in the end, He always helped me to forgive. Which, again, whatever He can do for me, He can do for each one of us. Before I end, I want to thank you so much for having me. And, when I'm speaking to a group, I'm aware I'm speaking to a group, but in my heart, I'm also aware that I'm speaking to individuals. And each one of us have their own stories. Each one of us has their own challenges, their own suffering. And I just want to say this from my heart to yours. Please, whatever you might be going through, please do not give up. Hold on to God. Listen to Him. Hold on to the prayer, especially the prayer of the rosary. Our Lady has promised us, if you pray it from the heart, I will find an answer to your problem. I will give you consolation in your troubles. Just do it. Even if when it doesn't feel so, hold on to them, because with God, there is always hope. Always. Even in dying, there is hope. I know many people in Rwanda, including my brother, the one who came to wake me up to tell me that the president have died. He wrote to me a letter. I put in my book, Left to Tell. He said, if I die, do not worry. I will go to heaven. The day before they killed him, I will go to heaven because I'm prepared for that. So those who love God, even if they are killed, God gives them acceptance for what is coming. In my case, not once I ever said, it's okay, take me. Maybe when I was scared or when I was angry, but not, okay, fine, I'm ready. I kept begging God, not now, not now. He does really listen to our prayers. And dying is not the worst thing. What is bad is if we live bad. Heaven is so much better. And lastly, I want to say, if I can forgive, anyone can forgive. Dare to go there. There is so much peace, so much freedom in forgiving. Thank you so much. May God bless you.